Hey, okay. So I finished the row. I went in about 3 and went down. And to be perfectly honest, I made a mistake. So I couldn't show you that because I'm already done that part. And trust me, I have made a billion mistakes. It's okay. It's all good. Everything's good. Now I'm going to get as close as I can to the other row here. Do you see that? You want to get as close as you can. You don't want a lot of gaps. But again, if you end up with one, it's not a big deal. It honestly isn't. When they're on your feet, you're not going to notice them. You're going to know they're there. Nobody else will. Nobody else will. And I'm going to bring on some nice yellow. If you've got the string, you just hold the stringed ones and you just run your needle along the string, and that way you don't have to right like this. You just run your needle along the string, and then you don't have to do the shoveling. But like I said, I just ended up screwing it up, so I have to now shovel. And not quite. I'm going to put a few more on, so you can always take them off. Yep, that's about right. Okay. Now I'm swapping out my strings, my thread. This one was the one I was tacking with. And I've tied a knot behind, and I'm now swapping it out for the one I'm going to thread, just because it saves on thread. And this is the one I was doing the tacking with. Well, I've got easily 3 times as much. So I just swap them. I tie a knot, tie them both off, and then I swap them back and forth just to use up the thread. Okay, finger 1, 2. I've got my thumb in place. Every second one. And you can maneuver it a little bit. Don't panic as you're seeing my circle is getting ugly. It's not going to be, but once we pull it in place, it does straighten out. And if it doesn't, just thread a piece of thread all the way around and pull, and it'll straighten it really nicely. There's a lot of little tricks to this. Now, sometimes when it gets tight like this, I do every bead. Just because and that's, if anything, that's even more secure. Whoops. Now, I don't know if I said it last time, if it was in one of the several videos that we deleted already this morning, because they were wrong. The beads that we're using is number 10 check seed beads. C-Z-E-C-H. Number 10 check seed beads. Now, if you get on some of those sites, just double check. The size 11, I think, are smaller, quite a bit smaller. So you've got to keep an eye on that. And the needles we are using are number 10 short. I do like the John James, the number 10 short beading needles. You can get longer ones, and I have used those, and they're okay. The short ones I like a lot better. The longer ones tend to get really crooked. Now, you're going to see there is some space happening here. But again, our next row is going to push that out. Bring you up. I'm going to admit doing the center is probably one of the toughest parts, and it's really unfortunate that that's the first part that you have to do. The rest gets a little easier, but the centers are a bit of a pain just because your area gets so small. We're actually almost at the end this time. Too far over. Don't go through your thread. You don't want to break it. And that's what I am doing right now. There we go. Which is another bonus of tying off a knot. If your thread does break, it'll only go up to where your knot is. Okay, there we go. Beautiful. Get rid of these beads that I had extra. Grab another needle.